Hey everybody, Mr. Traveler here. Thank you so much for tuning in today, guys. I want to revisit a topic that we talked about some time ago, and we got a lot of positive feedback about it, and I want to revisit it just to let you know about some of the, I think, opportunities that still exist out there. We're going to talk about cruise line stocks. Let me start by saying that I am not a stockbroker, I am not a financial advisor, anything like that. So this information that I'm giving you is purely informational. I'm sharing some data with you. I'm sharing some of the things that I have done. But if you want to consult a financial advisor or a stockbroker, whatever you want to do for that financial advice, please do so. So I do want to talk about the stocks for the cruise lines and some of the data, the historical figures, and some of the benefits that you get for owning shares in the cruise line stock. Let's talk about it right after this. All right, thank you for tuning in today, guys. So if we can help you book that dream vacation, guys, please give us a call, 877-697-4470, or we can be reached at www.mr-traveler.com. And stay tuned, starting this Sunday, we'll be going on the MSC Seascape, bringing you some fabulous content from that newer ship from MSC. We're really excited for it and can't wait to share our adventures with you from that ship. All right, so I'm gonna save Carnival Cruise Line for last, as I think it's the most interesting. But let's talk about Norwegian Cruise Line. So Norwegian Cruise Line, as long as you own 100 shares of stock, if you cruise 6 days or less, they will give you $50 onboard credit. If you cruise 7 to 14 days, they will give you $100 onboard credit. And anything greater than that, you can get $250 onboard credit. So let me just stop right there, and this is pretty much true for all the cruise lines. There's a little bit of variation in the amount of days. But what other stock do you know that if you have at least 100 shares of it and then use the product that you're already investing in, you get an immediate dividend? I'm calling it a dividend, it's onboard credit, but I consider it to be a dividend, right? You're getting onboard credit for being a stockholder with at least 100 shares of stock. That's really amazing to me in of itself, outside of any return on your investment that you may get from the stocks. But that right there is really great, especially if you're a frequent cruiser. So I think that that's a really, really cool benefit. So let's talk about Norwegian. Right now, today is July 5th. When I looked up before doing this video, the current trading price was $22.08. The low on this was back in March 1st of 2020 from the 5-year historical data, and it went down to $10.96. So it's pretty much doubled since that point. The high point of this stock was just before the pandemic in December of 2019. The share prices were listed at $58.41. So, if the stock follows the trend that it had pre-pandemic, there's still room at this point, if you invested, to a little bit over double your money, if not more, depending on how high the stock goes. Again, I'm not a financial advisor or anything like that. I'm just looking at where we're at, where we were, and what is potentially possible. So with Norwegian Cruise Line, it looks like there's still some potential for growth as far as the value of the stock. And don't forget, you get the benefit of having that onboard credit simply for owning 100 shares of the stock. All right, so next let's talk about Royal Caribbean Group. And this is Royal Caribbean Group because if you own 100 shares of stock with the RCL, you can have the onboard credit benefit for Royal Caribbean or Celebrity. So either one of those cruise lines. Now, it doesn't appear that there's a lot of wiggle room here with Royal Caribbean. It looks like it has really regained a lot of the momentum that it had lost for the pandemic. So today's price, again, July 5th, 2023, prior to making this video, I looked at the stock price. It was currently trading at $103.23. Its low was March 1st of 2020. and it was at $32.17. And the high for the stock was just before the pandemic in December 2019 at $133.51. So it looks like a lot of the gas from this one, if it follows historical data, may have already been spent, right? So if you were able to buy in at the $32 when we made our old video telling you guys this is a great time to buy stock, you would have already tripled your money if you bought at the low point, in addition to getting the onboard credit benefits. So let's talk about that. Similar to Norwegian, with one little variation. So with Royal Caribbean, if you do 6 nights or less, it is $50 onboard credit. If you do 7 to 13 days, it is $100 onboard credit, and 14 days or greater will get you $250 onboard credit. Again, that's for Royal Caribbean or Celebrity. So another great benefit if you own this stock and you love Royal Caribbean. Just getting those dividends for cruising, I think, is a really amazing thing. So, and then lastly, guys, let's dig into Carnival Cruise Line. So now this, the reason I say that for last is because when you invest in Carnival Cruise Line, I think this is like your biggest bang for your buck, right? Because you can have that shareholder benefit for Carnival, for Holland, for Princess, for P&O, for Seabourn, for Windstar, for AIDA, for Cunard, and for Costa. So there's a lot of different cruise lines that you can have this benefit for. So if you own 100 shares of Carnival Cruise Line stock, you can bounce around and try some different cruise lines within the family brand and still take benefit of that money. Their time frame is exactly the same as Royal Caribbean's, right? Less than 6 days is going to be $50. 7 to 13 is going to be $100, and 14 nights or greater is going to be $250 onboard credit. So now this is where it gets a little bit interesting. And this, I personally invested into the Carnival one when it was at the low point. So today's trading price, July 5th, 2023, it was trading at $19.17 per share. The low point on this was back in 2022, September 2022, so not that long ago. And it was trading in at $7.03. It's kind of interesting how that's so much different from Norwegian and from Royal Caribbean. But of course, Carnival is a bigger brand, has a bigger worldwide reach because of all those cruise lines. And perhaps that's what kind of made the performance a little bit different. But their low was all the way just, maybe about 6 months ago. So, and that was at $7.03. Again, it's trading at $19.17. The high point of this stock was, again, just before pandemic, September of 2019. It was trading at $63.77. So if it follows historical trends, there's really room to almost triple your money still at this point and still get those shareholder benefits across the family brand of Carnival. And if you bought in low like some of us did, we've made some nice money on return on our investment for Carnival Cruise Line, as well as getting those shareholder benefits. So, and the Carnival Cruise Line has been going up pretty quickly. I've been watching it the last month. It's really been climbing quickly. So, travel doesn't seem to be slowing down at this point, even with dips in the economy and even with, really high interest rates and things like that. People are, still wanting to get out there, wanting to have a good time, want to get out and have some relaxation with the family. And, Carnival is always a good option, especially for families. They're usually pretty affordable option for a big family. So, it does look like there's plenty of room to grow for Carnival and for Norwegian. Royal Caribbean, not so much. But again, I think it's a really interesting thing to have a stock that you earn money on simply by using the product if you have 100 shares, which is not a huge investment, right? So if you were to get in on 100 shares of Carnival today, $1,900 would get you in. You have that room for potential growth on the stock, plus the stockholder benefits for the onboard credit for your cabin. So that's all I wanted to bring to you today, guys. I thought it was really neat. If you really enjoy cruising, if you really cruise a lot, and I think that this is something that you can really take a close look at. Again, check with your financial advisor, your stockbroker, and do your research on it before diving in. But I just wanted to bring this information to you because I think it's super helpful. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. And remember, life's short. Have fun. Get out there and see the world, guys. Bye, everybody.